Hey everybody, today we're talking more Black Hammer. This is Volume 2, Age of Doom. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent and today we're doing Black Hammer. This is Age of Doom Part 1 and Part 2. So this is two trade paperbacks doing volume issues 1 through 12 of the Age of Doom miniseries. And it's really, like, it should be more of Black Hammer, right? We had two volumes that were 1 through 12, so this technically should be like 13 through 24. But I guess following the Hellboy model with Dark Horse, we're doing mini-series as opposed to one long series, even though this is actually a continuation of the story that I covered in my other video where I covered Black Hammer 1 through 12, those first two volumes, and this is a continuation and basically a wrap-up of that storyline. So even on the spines, these have number 3 and number 4 on here as volume numbers compared to 1 and 2 in that other video. But Age of Doom, you still got Jeff Lemire and Dean Ormston doing the writing and the art, respectively, on here. Doing a great job. And basically continuing the idea that there's some superheroes on this town that remember they're superheroes, but no one else does. And we had our protagonist, the infamous Black Hammer's daughter, I guess, show up at the end of the last volume and pick up her dad's hammer and say, "I am Black Hammer." So you get a little previously in the first one, and then we pick up right where we left off with her floating and saying, "I'm here, why don't you guys come back home, and how do we figure out how to get home," and things like that. I think it was an interesting thing. You're still dealing with the same things as like dealing with the townies and the characters' relationships to the townies. The girl, Black Hammer, does disappear and goes to hell and some other dimensions and things like that, as in this first volume, as like a diversion, I think, as opposed to wrapping up the story. And then at the end of this, you find out who is really behind what's going on, why they got there, and how. And then part 2 is where they kind of, you know why they did what they did. And then part 2 is trying to rectify that into another storyline. And this one's like not called reboot, but it basically is, because you have Anti-God coming in here. He's like the villain that they defeated. And honestly, I skipped this story. I couldn't stand the art. I don't think I read much of this and passed through that, but I just wanted to read like the superhero Black Hammer story, honestly. But anyway, this volume was a little weird because you have a amnesia bout with our heroes, and now they're in a city as opposed to a town. They've got different lives entirely, and you have to kind of go and wake them all up and say, "Hey, remember me? Hey, remember me? Hey, remember me?" through these 6 issues, and then they decide what to do. And that's kind of the finale of the story, I feel like. It has a really, like, clean ending. And at the end of it, I was kind of left hanging like, I'm not sure if I enjoyed this at all. Like, I enjoyed this book of it, the first half. But when I got to this one and they're kind of redoing the same thing instead of just continuing this story and the fallout of who's really behind what happened to our heroes, I was left a little funny. The art's great, but Jeff Lemire's writing is fine. I was just kind of like, that's an interesting thing to do. But this volume is mostly the female Black Hammer. And I'm calling her the female Black Hammer, even though we were never really introduced to the first male Black Hammer, who's her dad. He was just kind of a legend in the first 2 volumes. But, hell, I don't even remember that guy's first name. I think her name is Julie. It's thundering outside right now, if you wonder what that is. But, yeah, there's some extras in the back and things like that. But it just ends in a nice way that I'm like, There's 3 more volumes I have from the library, and they're called Reboot. But I was paging through those, and I only see our heroine here, the Black Hammer, as opposed to any of the other characters that I've fallen in love with over the course of 24 issues. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to read those or not. I probably will, but I'm not, like, itching to get to them because I don't think they continue this story very often, or very, very much. It says it jumps ahead in time and things like that, as opposed to continuing where this one left off. Because this one, like I said, does have an ending. And it feels like an ending. Whether or not it's great, it will be up to you, the reader. I thought it was okay, but I wasn't like blown away by it. It wasn't a twist ending or anything like that. It wasn't something where I'm like, you guys got to read this. You know what I mean? So I guess all in all, on Black Hammer, on the first 4 volumes, I'm okay on it. I like the first 2. Honestly, I think those are a good 4 out of 5, and these probably like a 3 out of 5. A middling kind of like, it wasn't bad. It was good, but not great. Not like, I'm not gonna be recommending them to anybody. So there you have it. That's my thoughts on Black Hammer, Age of Doom. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Am I totally off? Am I totally wrong? Is this a modern masterpiece? Let me know down in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.